It's the Grateful Carnivore. Today's subject is, it's going to be a few different things, so we'll go from there. The company I work for, we're having a week shutdown next week throughout the 4th of July week. I work for a company that makes car parts for the car companies, for Ford and GM and a few other ones, whatever, Dodge, but they need to retool their plants, so they're pretty much getting a week off. I'm using my vacation time to get through it, and I was thinking today, I made myself a list of 25 things of basically chores around my house, projects I've been wanting to do, and some I've actually already started, some I created by doing other ones. And I'm actually sitting in my backyard right now and seeing things I want to do. But I made a list of 25 things, and it's gonna be added to. But those are the first 25 things I thought off the top of my head in between my job when I was working today. I just jotted them down. But there's so many things I want to do here, and I really enjoy doing it. And I usually do things after work, or weekends, whatever. I always maintain my house, my yard, but I enjoy that stuff. But now I'm actually going to have a week off, so, and that's why I made myself a list of things to do and like I said, it's going to grow. But I was talking to a friend through messages, whatever, and I was telling her about my diet, and she's on a diet too, and she's going to be she's doing something completely different, whatever. And it's working for her, whatever. She's down like 43 pounds. I'm not going to mention her name, but if she ever sees this video, she'll know what I'm talking about. But, I've followed so many damn diets over the last, God, almost 20 years, different things I've tried. And I finally found a good one. Carnivore diet is just an awesome diet. We're so used to eating crap food and eating whatever we want and experimenting with diets and things like that, eating less and trying to be healthy, but mostly everything fails, and people want to say it's all fad diets, but any diet that's a fad is just something that you just don't continue on with. You give up, or you get your goal and then you do something different, whatever. But I can't say that I will always be a carnivore. I cannot say that. I'd like to be, because it's really working and I feel really great, but I don't know what the future is going to hold. But for right now and for a long time, I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be doing a carnivore diet. I'm only eating meat, and eggs, a little bit of dairy. I don't, the fats I use are animal fats, and like butter and things like that. But it's over the last, I would say that mostly the last 10 years. I started out with paleo, then I went to keto, and now I'm carnivore. And it's so easy to fail. I've been one of those people that I would always start on a Monday, or I'd start at the beginning of the month, or whenever I screwed up, I would just binge and binge and binge, and it was crazy. It was absolutely disgusting what I was doing to myself. I've taken pictures and made videos before that I could not post. I wanted to show people what I do when I binge. I'm just crazy. It's crazy what I'm capable of doing, and I very much enjoy it until I'm done, and I'm just sick as it could be. I'm a diabetic, so it makes it a lot worse. But I finally got my mind straight. I did cheat on my diet back on Father's Day, and then that went into like 2 or 3 days more of that, not in a row, but I did cheat more. I gave myself excuses. Well, I'm gonna start fresh, whatever. But I don't know, last few days I've been very excited about this. I've been very excited about going completely 100%. The only things when I'm not cheating, the only things I'm actually putting in my body that aren't 100% carnivore is like coffee. I drink black coffee, and if I put anything in it nowadays, it's butter or cream or whatever. I used to put coconut oil, MCT oil, but I don't even do that anymore. But I'm gonna try my damnedest by Friday, which is the first, July 1st. I'm going to quit coffee. As of today, I started mixing with bone broth. That bone broth's probably gonna be my main drink of the morning. I might change it up. I might, find something else, whatever, because it is kind of expensive to make, but it's really good. And the way I do it, and it's good. I mixed it with my coffee today. I put the beef bone broth, and I put it with the coffee, and then I I think I had some little bit of butter and a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and it wasn't a perfect thing. I did it real quick this morning, and then on top of that, right before I left for work, I actually made 3 fried eggs. And I'm not a big breakfast guy. I you know, on the weekends if I'm off, I'll do it, whatever, just because I'm not going to work, I'm not being active. But I did it, and I was still recovering from eating dinner last night, so I did feel a little full, whatever. I really wasn't hungry to eat, but I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted to see if how much it would bother me, and it only bothered me a tiny bit. And I think I actually had a lot of energy from it. Between the coffee, bone broth, and the eggs, I think I had plenty of energy today. Recovering from my weekend, only having 1 day off, because I worked Saturday. But I don't know. I was thinking about all these projects. I was thinking about my vacation and what I'm doing. I'm losing weight. I can see it on my face right now. If I shaved my beard off, I would look even thinner. But I'm doing really well. And I'm looking forward to having that week off to do things and really get my diet and my when I start exercising more, all these things that you got to be excited about life. You got to be, I have a good job. I have a beautiful home over here. I love my property. I just things are good. Things aren't perfect at work, and things aren't perfect at in life. Everything costs a fortune right now. Gas prices. You have to find good in everything. No matter how bad life is, you have to find something good. You can't sit there and worry about things all the time. These last 20 years of my life, I have been so full of anxiety and depression and just fear, plain fear. And I think a lot of that has to do with my diet, just being horrible. Obviously you get fat, you get out of shape, you just feel horrible about yourself and your life, and all these things add up. And I really feel that these food companies really push that in people. They're helping the doctors out. They're helping the medical field out with keeping us in the hospital and doctors all the time, making us feel like crap and trying to fix us. And all they're doing, they're all in. It's one big conspiracy. I don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but I believe it's all true. I believe everything is connected in some way. The food companies are pumping crap into our foods, making us addicted to it basically with the sugars and all this stuff. And then the doctors are part of it too. They're making a living off of us being, trying to save our lives. The government's involved with it. Just all these people just trying to keep us, in check, whatever. Trying to keep us sick and needing their support. And it's just one big money-making operation. It's like, it's just crazy. And we fall for it. And talked to my friend a little bit ago about my diet, whatever. She thinks it's a fad. She thinks that it's not sustainable. And for most people, it's not. I want it to be sustainable. I feel great doing it. I found ways to save money on things I'm buying as best I can for right now. But just like I don't see it as a fad. I don't see it as something it's not making me unhealthy. Oh, it's gonna catch up on you. All that fat and this and that. No, it's not. Fat doesn't make you fat. You know what fat makes you fat? Is when you say you eat a donut. I know no matter what, a donut is bad, but you're cooking a carb and a sugar in fat, and it's probably peanut oil or lard or who knows what they're using. They're not using like a healthy fat, but they're it's a carb. It's bread, being deep fried and then covered in sugar. That's what causes high cholesterol, high blood pressures. That's the fat that your body grabs onto and keeps onto. I'm using butter, I'm using bacon grease, I'm using tallow, which is a beef fat, and none of those stick to me. When I eat them, they make me feel full. They satiate me and satisfy me, and it's not sticking in my body. It's not. Like if I were to use those ingredients with a donut, it would probably stick to my body. But eating meats and things like that, and eggs and fish or whatever meats you're eating, processed foods. There are good processed foods and there's the bad processed foods, when it comes to meat, whatever. But I'm buying the stuff that has no carbs and no sugar in it, and I barely even have that stuff, but it's something that's there. Canned goods that have sardines and other meats that I have, and fish, whatever. But most of that stuff is processed stuff, has so much crap in it. But I don't buy those bad versions. I buy the better versions. But all these things I'm eating are burning right off my body. I'm active at work. You know, I'm not just sitting around watching TV all day. And when I'm at home, I'm active. You know, at late night I'll sit down and watch some Netflix, whatever. But I'm pretty active around my house. You know, and definitely I'm very active for my 8 hours at work. But all these foods, they don't make me feel lethargic. They don't make me have anxiety and fear and depressions. You know, there are some scary things that are in my life, like at my job and this economy and just things, but I'm dealing with it so much better. You know, I've mentioned before that, you know, through my company, there's, you know, we deal with the car companies, and GM had a strike for, it was a little bit over a month, almost 2 months, and that was 3 to 4 years ago, about 3 years ago, I think. And I was working overtime. You know, most people were coming in and leaving, and going home, whatever, and okay, they were okay with that. But I was actually working 6-7 days a week. You know, during another company having a strike that was affecting my job. I was working 7 days. You know, then we had COVID come about, and because I worked so much overtime, my unemployment, between the $600 that they gave us for Ohio, I was almost pulling in $400 a week on top of that with unemployment. And and then I paid taxes on it, got the taxes back, probably like 6 months to a year later. So I was basically pulling in $1,000 a week, sitting at home for 3 months on COVID. I did really horribly with my diet, that I was like an alcoholic by noon every day, but like, I was doing really well. I got through 2 huge ordeals, doing better than most people. And any other time in my life, even before I gained weight and before I had a lot of these problems, I'd have been a wreck. But I got through it like really well. Now these last 2 years, 2.5 years, or whatever it's been, after the whole going back to work thing after COVID, we've had a microchip shortage. That's our big thing at my job right now. And most people that are into cars or in the electronic field or whatever, they know about the microchip shortage. It affects anything that takes microchips, basically. The company Intel, I think they're building a building in somewhere near Columbus, Ohio, and over in China they're building buildings to so this never happens again with these microchips being, they weren't making them like they should have been, and somehow got extremely far behind, and you can barely go buy a car without there being some kind of a problem trying to get them. So most people know about it. I know more than most people because I'm in that business of, well, I'm not quite in that business, but it's something that's directly with my job, so I know about it, and it's affected me with my overtime. I actually got to work Saturday, but they were just trying to get something done, and they brought us in, whatever. But I'm used to working 6-7 days a week, and my money was dependent on that. My life was dependent on that, and now, thank God I saved a lot of money. But I'm just going. My money is shriveling up really bad in my bank accounts, and I'm still okay. I'm still doing well. I'm still living, but I'm definitely being a lot more careful. There's a lot of things that I want to buy and need to buy, and I basically just get the things I need to buy. But things I want, like even for my property here, my yard and things, there's things I want, and I'm just like, I'm gonna wait a little longer, just especially since the prices are so damn high right now. But I'm rambling on about all this stuff, but just, you have to find your joy. I'm so filled with joy right now with my life. I'm losing weight, and my body is showing it more than the scale is. I'm definitely getting toner. I can feel, my muscle tone getting better, underneath all that fat, and my body is changing. I have man boobs, and I can tell that they're getting smaller, and things like this are, slightly getting better, but and on the back of my head, whatever. But my face is a lot more thinner. And I just noticed overall, I just wish the scale would finally start to show it. I do want my body to be toned and muscular, which is adding, keeping the weight up there on the scale. But I want to see a big change on the scale. That's something that's going to make me feel a lot better. But it has dropped. It definitely has dropped. And the cheat meals I've had, in the last couple of weeks, whatever, have definitely gone against, that. And that's already ended. I stopped doing the cheat meals, but cutting the coffee out, that's the next big thing, and that's going to be by Friday. Well, at least on Friday. When I'm off that weekend into the following week is when I'm not completely cutting the coffee out until by the end of that week, I guess. So next week, I'm weaning it, right now, But you know, as soon as I feel like I'm able to completely cut it out, even before, that period of July, then I'll be done. But right now, this week I'm meeting it, and hopefully by next week I'll be done with it. But we'll see how that goes. But I definitely want to be caffeine free. To see. I don't know if I can handle it. It's going to cause me a lot of trouble, with my body, the way I'm going to feel. But I want to beat it, and I'm determined to at least attempt it and try my hardest to do it. So, but being excited about that, to be excited about health and just life. You got to be happy. You got to find ways to be happy. Stop being so miserable. I see so many people on Facebook and other social medias that are just always miserable. And you see them at work, and they always have a frown on their face, and there's always something to bitch about. And I'm guilty of all those things. I'm completely guilty of all those things. And that's not the way I want to be. I want to be healthier. I want to be happier. I want to be a tough guy again. I want not tough in a bad way, but like, I was telling my friend, I was telling a few people recently how all of us guys have just become big pussies. Excuse my language, whatever. But like, whatever happened to men? Men are men. You don't have to be this tough guy that's some badass, whatever. But just, we've become women. Women are becoming men, and men are becoming women. And I don't really mean in the whole transsexual way or gay way, whatever like that. That's definitely happening too. But it's just that, guys are becoming so weak-minded, such pushovers, even the tough ones I catch all the time, acting like a little pussy. And it's just, I'm totally guilty of that. And I'm sick of being that way. I want to be, a man. I don't want to sit there and whine and cry about my life and like everybody's out to get me and poor pitiful me. Screw that. It's like, even if there are people out there doing that, get away from that. Find yourself. There's nothing wrong with being a sensitive person in some way. Being a decent person. Being sensitive to other people's needs, and people have mental problems. People have emotional things going on. Life gives us so many lemons. It's like, that's just the way it is. Some of us lose people all the time in our lives. All of our family dies and this and that. Don't let it beat you. Your family members don't want you to be miserable. They want you to be happy, and find that place. I'm starting to find that place. I spent the last almost 20 years just getting weaker and weaker and fatter and more miserable. Stop it. Get a grip. Get a hold of yourself. I want to eventually date somebody and maybe get married again. I want to have a woman in my life. I want to be 44 years old here in a few months. Time is ticking on. My son's about to be 18. He's going to be an adult. It's like, I've been waiting mostly for him to grow up so he doesn't have to deal with any step-parent, whatever like that. And, a step-parent wouldn't have to deal with raising, another kid. But I've dated all the wrong women that I've dated after my ex-wife. And I did it to kind of find a woman for my son, like a mother figure, and it never worked out. And I've dated women that I had no interest in at all. That I guess I was just, trying to find something that was easy. I don't know, I gave in to things like that. I feel bad I'm saying that about these women, because there was one or two that were pretty good, but most of them were just users that were just in the same boat as me. They had kids, they were trying to find something, and not every woman was like that, but I was doing it I wasn't doing it for love. I was doing it for all the wrong reasons, and that's I couldn't do that to them, so that's why I never pursued anything more with them. But I don't feel confident in myself. My weight, like I said, I've become a pussy. I'm sorry to keep saying that, but that's just the best word that comes to my mind. That how guys are now. There's no tough guys anymore. Everybody's so sensitive and weak, and it's just ridiculous. And I'm starting to come out of that, and I hated being like that. I completely hated it. I've talked to so many people and whined about all this stuff, and people probably look at me like I am a pussy, and I'm, I don't want to be that anymore. I have enough strength in me now that I can be something better. You know, life isn't gonna, you know, be perfect all the time. There's something always gonna be going on. Just deal with it. You know, my job is my biggest thing right now. Besides my job and the way this economy is, with everything just costing too damn much. That other than that, my life is pretty good. I got an awesome house here. I got an awesome property. You know, I have good things going for me. So, before I keep on rambling on about this, though, just, you know, find your happy, find your joy, find your purpose. You know, just, you know, right now, my home, my job, and everything, that's all my purposes. You know, just, you know, living life, being happy. You know, my biggest goal right now is my weight loss and doing that and just being healthy, not be a type 2 diabetic anymore. Find love, find happiness. So, find your joy, find your happiness. Be happy when most people can't be happy, I guess. So, all right, like, share, subscribe. Grateful Carnivore.